Here I am after so many years, hounded by hatred and trapped by fear. I'm in a box. I've got no place to go. If I follow my mind, I know I'll slaughter my own. Help me, I'm the prisoner. Won't you hear my plea? I need somebody, yeah, to listen to me. I beg you, brothers and sisters, I'm counting on you, yeah. Black babies in the womb, shackled and bound, chained by the caveman who keeps beauty down, smacked on the ass when they're squalling and wet. Heir to a spineless man who never forgets, never forgets that he's a prisoner. Can't you hear my plea? 'Cause I need somebody, Lord knows, to listen to me. I'm a stranger to my son who wonders why his daddy runs, yeah. Can't nobody see just who in hell I am. Hemmed in by a suit, yes, or choked up in a tie. Ain't no wonder sometimes, dear morning, I hear my woman cry. She knows her man is a prisoner. Won't you hear my plea? Yeah, 'cause I need somebody, whoa, to listen to me. My woman, she don't say. Greetings once again. Welcome to the Northeast Political Prisoner Coalition podcast. My name is Frank Brown. I'm with my brother and former political prisoner Abdul Haq Islam.
Peace and love.
Peace and love. That's right. Today we celebrate the second day of the International Working Women's Month, which is March. And I think that that's very important because March is when the weather starts changing. Spring is coming, and that means new life is coming into existence, right? And that's only appropriate because women are the gatekeepers of life, right? They have our bodies in they have physical bodies in their bodies for 9 months, and that physical body is brought forth, and that body decides on what it needs to do, depending on who's teaching that body what it needs to know. Today's episode we dedicate to Joy Powell. In the introduction, you've seen her picture being displayed a number of times, along with her information, the contact information. I had the opportunity to speak with her, and I was very inspired by speaking to her. I made sure that I asked her if the information out there was appropriate for us to use on this episode. That information is on Wikipedia. And she said about 90% of it is accurate and it could be used. So with her approval, I'm going to go into that because there's people who don't know her story. To be honest with you, I didn't know her story until I started getting involved in political prisoner work. And now that I'm involved with political prisoner work, I feel it's only necessary to learn her story and interact with those individuals who are involved in the campaign to bring her home. So this information that I'm going to read is found on Wikipedia. So it says Joy Powell, born March 5th, 1962, is a former community activist and a Pentecostal pastor from Rochester, New York, whose career consisted of fighting against gang violence and police misconduct. After allegedly being raped by a correctional officer in 1995 and having the authorities refuse to investigate her complaint, she began coordinating local protests and calls for police accountability, which she routinely organized until her arrest in 2006. During her career, Powell ran local charitable events in the area and operated a youth homeless shelter out of a salon she owned. She also started organizing candlelight vigils for victims of neighborhood violence after her son was killed as a bystander in a gang shooting in 2000. After the shooting of a mentally ill man, her activism led to the creation of an emergency response team to deal with mental health situations and forced officers in the Rochester Police Department to get additional training in dealing with the mentally ill. In 2006, Powell was arrested and charged with felony assault and burglary after a pawn shop broker gave police a description for one of the people who had sold him stolen property which matched Powell. Powell maintains the charges were not only false but politically motivated due to her attempting to have criminal charges filed with the Attorney General of New York against several deputies of the Rochester Police Department whom she alleges assaulted and then threatened her when she tried to file a complaint with Internal Affairs on behalf of a member of her congregation who was the victim of racially motivated harassment from the police. Several members of Powell's congregations testified at trial that during the alleged burglary and assault, Powell was leading a Bible study class at her church. Despite the apparent lack of evidence presented by the prosecution, Powell was found guilty by an all-white jury in 2006 and sentenced to 16 years in prison. In 2009, while serving her sentence for assault and burglary, Powell was arrested for the June 6, 1992 shooting death of James Rutledge after a jailhouse informant who claimed to have witnessed the decades-old homicide identified Powell as being involved in the killing. Coincidentally, this identification occurred as support was mounting in the community to appeal Powell's burglary conviction. In 2011, she was convicted of second-degree murder based on an informant's testimony and received a sentence of 25 years to life, to begin upon the completion of her 16-year sentence for assault and burglary. Powell is currently being held at the Bedford Hills Correctional Facility for women and will be eligible for parole in the year 2045 when she is 84 years old. Her case has been highlighted as a clear example of injustice by many social activists and Black Power groups, even being mentioned by the likes of author Jamala Rogers, wife of Percy Green, among others. All right, there you have her bio. If you see that bio, you see that she was active, that she was getting involved, and she was understood what needed to be done if there was a problem in the community. She didn't wait for other people to do the work. She did it herself. She took the initiative and she organized the community. So with that, what example can sisters, particularly this month, as we reflect on women and their importance, what can they learn from our sister and comrade, Miss Powell?
Well, I would like to say happy Women's History Month. Also I want to say happy birthday. Her birthday is one day before mine. Hers is March 5th. Mine is March 6th. And indeed, many of us in the Black community know of corruption and injustices carried out by the police. Many of you who are watching this podcast have eyewitness experienced, injustices by the police. Here's a sister that was doing some powerful activism, giving the police heart attacks. The police, thinking they have a right to come into our community, and for example, when calls are made about mentally disturbed people, there's supposed to be specially trained units to come in and deal with that. So on 4 occasions during our activism, rookie cops came in, responded to this type of thing and had no idea what to do and murdered, the individual. In one situation, the person lived, a 13-year-old sister lived, but in three of the situations, they died. So many of us are familiar with these racist cops who enjoy having a privilege to brutalize us, to terrorize us, use violence against us. This is about joy, but I'm just going to relate something that happened in my life. When police attacked me, and I fought them, and they charged me with attacking them. This ain't about me; it's about her. But many of y'all out there have experienced similar things like this. So support this sister, because of her powerful activism. Being out there, giving them the blues. They attacked her. You understand? And they framed her. It's 12:17. Is Yah Santawa supposed to come at 12:15?
Just sent her the invite again, okay. And just waiting for her to come on.
Yeah, we got another sister, Yah Santawa, who's going to be addressing y'all in a couple of minutes. Doing Women's History Month. About some powerful warrior women. So Yah, if you hear us, chime on in.
Well, let's keep having a conversation going on, and when she gets the link, she'll come on.
Right on. Right
But
on.
let's keep talking about what joy mean to us, because it's very important and powerful that your young sisters know who she is, learn from her example,
Yeah.
and be inspired.
Another thing she mean to us is that as members of the December 12th movement, we are organizing to stopping the killing in our streets. And this is some activity that Sister Joy was involved in. She was involved in stopping the killing. In fact, she housed young black brothers and sisters, and fed them, and gave them inspiration, lifted their self-esteem, taught them, So she means a whole lot to us, in this whole thing about activism, standing up, fighting, that's what this sister's about, and as members of the black community, we value this thing, this fight, the standing up for us, and nothing was given to us. This system never, out of feeling some type of humanity, gave us anything. This very, very beastly, inhuman system. Everything we ever got from them was because we fought, because we stood, because of courageous people, because of principled people like Sister Joy, and these people are dear to us. These activists are dear to us, so we must show our appreciation, you know. We must show our appreciation and stand up for the sister. And indeed, the power of the people can set the sister free, She had an appeal for the Burton conviction, and that was going good. And that's when they came and framed her on some murder, with no evidence, no witnesses, and an all-white jury. I looked at Rochester. 1/4 of the population is black. How you get an all-white jury in a town that's 1/4 black? So this is the type of thing that happens, in America every day. America, AmerikKKA, happens every day in America, and stand up and fight. Reverend Joy Powell must be free.
Yes, indeed, she must be free, and we have to keep going. We have to keep participating in the struggle to bring her home. Right? It's our duty as so-called revolutionaries to bring her home, because we have to understand that without people like her, that we lose our direction.
Would be anywhere.
Right? We wouldn't be anywhere. So that's why it's very important that we continue to fight and struggle for her. Because what examples do you have when you don't have somebody like Joy Powell?
You ain't got nothing.
So that's why we out here talking about her, talking about people like her.
And write her. Send her letters, give inspiration, make her feel better. Being in the penitentiary is rough. It's hard times. Write her, show her some love. Reverend Joy Powell, Bedford Hills Correctional Facility. Okay, play this back if you have to. P.O. Box 10507 2499, Bedford Hills, New York. Write the sister, show her some love. Show us some appreciation, because without people like this, the system would just run roughshod over us and rob us for all of our rights. They do nothing, you understand, for us, because they feel like being good, like they feel like being good human beings. Everything they've ever done, they've been forced to do because of the movement of the people in the street, movements and activism by sisters and sisters and brothers, who share the political fire of Sister Joy Powell, and we live on this. This is like fresh air for us. It's like oxygen for us, So we must show some gratitude, stand up for our sister, like I said, write her, show some love, and write to the authorities, write to the so-called powers that be, and demand freedom for our sister. Sister Joy Powell must be free. Equal justice for all. That's what she fought for. equality and justice for all. So we calling for all y'all equality and justice for her. Right on.
And that's right, brother, because Ms. Powell has done so much for our people, right? And the brother had just sent me information about her that I didn't know. He
Right
said
on.
that she lost two sons of her own to street violence.
Oh man.
One son was even murdered by one son was even murdered by Rochester police, who was documented to have mental issues. They shot him over 100 times.
Mm-hmm.
So this sister, she didn't get depressed.
She been through it, man.
She been through it, and she didn't get depressed and decide that she's not going to do anything. She decided that she's going to step up, and she's going to take a position. I got the opportunity to speak to her last night, and I was very inspired by that conversation. And I said that I'm gonna use that to inspire me, to inspire others to take a position when it comes to her.
I'm writing her a letter as we do this podcast. Just for the podcast, I started the letter. I'm gonna finish it in a couple of minutes.
Exactly. So right here on the screen, you see we have who is Joy. Joy is a political prisoner who was targeted because of her activism against police brutality and other anti-violence initiatives. Joy was wrongfully convicted by an all-white jury of burglary and assault, then later cold case murder. In both cases, the state of New York, and the city of Rochester failed to provide eyewitnesses or evidence indicating Joy's involvement. She is currently incarcerated and is not eligible for parole until 2025. She will be 84 years old. So just speak on that, brother.
Yeah, I'm saying, man, she, was that 23 years from now? I did 10 years. That was enough for me. Imagine, having to be in the penitentiary 36 years, 36 to life, of something you ain't even did. America is full of injustices like this. America was born, America was nourished by the blood of innocent people, by injustices. Many of us know of this. Many of us has experienced this firsthand. So as people who are not to be beaten down, as people who do not respond to America by becoming behind-licking flunkies, tie-flaying flunkies, Uncle Toms, black Sambos, weaklings, cowards, and all this negative stuff, in opposition to all that, we must stand up as proud, dignified people and fight for ours, to stand up for ours, to speak up for ours, and just don't not, just forget and become ungrateful and let our political prisoners just waste away and die in prison. We have a duty. You understand? The reason that they are able to hold our political prisoners because it's not enough happening. It ain't enough happening. So make it happen, brothers and sisters. We owe it to our political prisoners and prisoners of war. Make it happen for her. Write her, ask her what she needs us to do for her, and put pressure. Pressure will bust a pipe. You take a hand, you take a finger. If it go the way it ain't supposed to go, it hurts. You understand what I'm saying? So put pressure on them. Take them away. Bend them in directions that they're not used to going. You understand? And they will slap out. They got to come with some justice. When we demand it and we put something on them. Put some pressure on them. We fight. We hit them with them left hooks and uppercuts. You understand? Hit Uncle Sam with all that. That's the only thing he understands.
Absolutely, man. Well said. Well, to the point, right? And I think that that's what we need to do. We need to understand that we have to fight for our political prisoners because, as we always say, we will continue to say that we don't free political prisoners. That the state don't free political prisoners. That we do, right? That's a people's job, a people's responsibility. We have to take that seriously. We have to get involved, and we can't watch them die in prison. I think that that's very important. And as we wait for Yah to come on so she could speak, about what this month means to her as a black woman and what this month means to all black women, because she actually got an opportunity to visit Joy Powell. And I guess if
Wow.
and then I guess just like I was inspired by her story and her ability to continue to fight, she was inspired to actually see her woman to woman and have a discussion about what's going on. And I think that that's very important, because when you were visited, how did that make you feel? Because we have to let the people know what this means.
Yeah, I mean, that's the best feeling in the world when you sit around there in the joint, and then your name is called out and say you got to visit, man. I mean, that's like electricity, juicy, beautiful, delicious electricity running through your body. You understand? And then you go out to the visiting room, and you see your loved ones. You understand? And it's like being free when you go out there. You got you some freedom out there in the visiting room. So yeah, send the sister some love, and do some acts of love for the sister, and the man that she be free, fight for her freedom, just like she fought for us. She was out in them streets, man. I was reading her biography. She was out there strong, you understand, shaking them up, and truly we need people like this, and we need her out here with us, shaking them up, because as y'all see, the right wing racists, instead of organizing right now, y'all saw what happened on January 6th. Well, more of that is coming. These hillbillies, these rednecks, these people that hate our guts, they're organizing against us. And the whole program is violence and terrorism against our people. So we need some strong people out here with us. We need some strong generals like Sister Joy Powell out here among us. Because we are living in some hell of a times, y'all. So Sister Y'all, where you at? Come on now.
All right,
Chime on in.
absolutely, because we need of that firsthand account of what it is to actually speak to the sister person to person, and to engage and to engage with her. So, brother, speak. I got to help this sister get on. So, just talk a little bit more about Joy Powell, or anybody who's similar to her or reminds you of her during the fight.
Well, women warriors, are very fundamental in our history. Look at Africa. You got what the so-called king of Africa, the lion, the male lion. He laid his sorry behind in some grass. You understand? Licking flies off his ear, while the female lion is out there smacking zebras upside the head. You got women warriors, Queen Nzinga, and others like her, who led armies, against the enemy, against the colonizer. Sisters like Nandi, who led the Maroons in Jamaica. Jamaica, where they had more uprisings of so-called slaves than anywhere else in the world. You had women, warriors, all throughout our history. We got a sister named Asada Shakur. Asada Shakur is alive and well, and the FBI can go to hell. Asada Shakur said to you sisters out there, if your man ain't about the liberation of black people, if he ain't about standing up like a man, if he ain't about fighting for his people, he ain't about nothing. That's something that the Sister Asada said. So inshallah, next week, we'll be talking more about Sister Asada Shakur, and we'll be talking about more female warriors during this Women's History Month. Our sisters in struggle, very, very important, and we're waiting for a strong warrior sister, Yah Santawa, to come on. She's another warrior woman, in 2022, living among us right now, and we need to know her and other strong females, and get familiar with this the contribution of women to our liberation. You understand? During this month, right on to the women, and later for some male chauvinist pigs, they want to downgrade the women, want to disrespect the women, want to see them as second class, want to talk about they ain't got no smarts and all that stuff. The women got a lot of smarts and got a whole lot of heart, and we appreciate them, we love them,
Yeah. So listen, the sister wasn't able to link on, but we got her speaking now. You on, sister?
Right on.
Sister.
Hello.
Yeah, you can speak now.
Oh, great. How are you?
Hey, peace.
Peace, sister.
Peace.
Look, I'm talking. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you live on the show right now.
Okay, great. Just thank you for inviting me on. And yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, everybody can hear you.
Okay, great. That's what I wanted to know. All right, so I know that you were talking about Reverend. Okay, great. That's what I wanted to know. All right, so I know that you were talking about Reverend Joy Powell.
Yes.
And it seems like my voice is coming in behind yours. Maybe it's because I also have you.
Yeah, just turn that
on
down. Turn the volume down on your computer.
Okay, let me do that. I'm doing it now. Hold on. Okay. Okay. Is it down? You can hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you. Nothing in the background now.
Great. No, I wanted to say that I have made a couple of visits out to Sister. That I made a couple of visits out to Sister Powell. And she's a phenomenal warrior woman that is, sitting in prison for all these years for a crime that she didn't commit, as many of us do. But I think one of the things that I find so impressive about her when I have gone up to visit her is her refusal to let it wear her down. We used to talk about how fly Joy would be. She and I talked about how they'd give her, one of those little ugly uniforms, and she'd take it in on the side because she's really about not letting them drag her down, pull her down, like so many of us.
Sister, you still there?
Yes, I'm still here.
Yeah, I just showed a picture right now of the Dahomey women. So speak on that.
Oh yeah, let's talk about the Dahomey women, because it is Women's History Month. Because it is Women's History Month, I think that a lot of people don't know about the women from the Kingdom of Dahomey, and they were like the first all-female warrior army in Africa. And when those of you who went to see the Black Panther, those women were patterned after the Dahomey women, and we need to make sure that our young women know about these women, know how we were warriors. These women were actually organized to protect their king. And I have some women that will say to me, oh yeah, well they were fighting for this man. Listen, it doesn't matter who is fighting for who, as long as we're fighting for justice and righteousness. Oftentimes though, they were women that left their families, left their husbands, to fight war, but men do it all the time. And that's what you have to do to be a revolutionary, to be a true warrior. Oftentimes you have to leave behind those people that you love, those people that are used to you being there to take care of them, because now you're trying to take care of a kingdom. So yeah, the Dahomey women are women that get a chance to really do some research on them. Do the research. Because as we talk about being women warriors, we can't forget the line of ancestry that we got this powerfulness there. I mean, when we look at Yasantawa, who I'm named after, we look at Nzinga, who I'm also named after, and there are warrior women that I found out in each country that I traveled to in Africa. There is always as we talk about our political prisoners, there were many, many, many black women involved with the Black Panthers. And
That's right.
I heard Shep say that two-thirds of the Black Panthers were women. And we never hear about those women.
We hear about it now.
Yeah, those are some of the things that we have to make sure that we get out so that our young sisters will know that we're at war and that we're out there to fight and that women are out there fighting also.
Yes, these are very important points. And speak about just you as a woman, how you were inspired by Joy's commitment to advance our people.
Oh, look, when I went to see my visits to Joy, many of us have done a lot of things. There are a lot of warrior women out there. I'm on my way now to go visit Sister Roy Sharp, who's in a rehab center, who's a warrior woman.
Yeah.
And I think that I'm hoping that Joy was inspired to do some of the things she did because of warrior women that went before her. But being out here in the so-called, I put it in quotes, free world, and going to visit Joy when I went to visit her, I had to look and say, listen, this woman has paid the price for you to walk around and do some of the things that you do. I mean, Joy was hated because she went up against the police department, all of the injustices that were done for our people. And unfortunately, we don't know these people. I hear people say today, oh, we need people to stand up to the police. We need people to stand up for our... We have people that do that. And we have people like Joy, like Assata Shakur, like the women, the homie women. We have people that stood up. The homie women cut off the heads of their oppressors. They didn't play. Hands. And oftentimes, though, women like Joy, they're out there by themselves, and no one is willing to go support them, to visit, that she loves women. She really does. And I don't think that in these days, when you say somebody loves women, they want to take it to the homosexuality.
No, we understand exactly what you mean. We understand exactly what you mean.
Okay. She loves women. When I would come in, she'd talk about what I had on. So, yeah, she still has that flyness about her. But oftentimes I ask people who are enjoying the benefits of people like Joy that opened up some ways, can you name me 3 political prisoners? And they cannot. The very same people that are saying that we need to get out there on the front lines, we need to fight this injustice, but yet we have a group of people that did just that, and many of them are in prison dying. So we really do have to get it out to our community that you're walking around enjoying the privileges of the Black Panthers, of women like Joy, and you feel like you don't owe anything, that you should just be able to move on about your business, and you owe. And oftentimes your reward is not going to be, most times it is not going to be monetary. But when I look at Joy Powell, she brings me joy to know that she took that position. But I also have to keep constantly reminding myself that I have not been to visit Joy in a minute, and I'm getting ready to go visit her in the next couple of weeks.
Right on.
Because
right.
You have to keep it going. You have to keep the letters going. And oftentimes we think we're too busy to do that, but we're not. We're not, because you will drop the ball in a minute to go to a dance or a concert or whatever.
I think it's about priorities.
We have to learn to take that moment to celebrate people like Joy. And again, and Hawk, I heard you talk about Assata Shakur. I was in Cuba about 2 years ago and went to the house of the sister who wrote who did the documentary on Assata Shakur, and that's another sister that oftentimes we forget about Assata. She may not be in prison, but she
hands off Assata. Hands off Assata.
Yeah, because I am the rainbow, and I would ask people people to watch that so that they learn about Asada. I know she was mentioned earlier, as being the mother of one of Kamal's children. But those are the things we can't forget our Asada Shakors, along with our Joy Powells. But being in Cuba and talking to the sister that did the documentary for her, I've learned a lot. So I say that to everyone out there. Start writing your letters.
I'm writing Joy right now. I just started a letter to her.
And let these people know that they're not alone.
Right.
That they're not. I mean, and I know it's Women's History Month, but we also want to let our brothers out there know and support the people that are in the struggle, that are trying to make things better for us. I think I heard brother. And my memory is going so off. But I heard brother Hawk, who were just talking, I think, so great about continuing the conversation about Asada and also, about Joy Powell.
Right on. And you are a history-making sister, Sister Yah Santawa. It's Black History Month, so brothers and sisters out there, get your history books out, and look up these women, appreciate these women. Much respect to the sisterhood.
I think people should know that are listening. I was fired from the public school system for teaching Black history to our youth. Now we're talking about we need to have it in the classroom.
Yeah.
And I'm going to start talking more about that firing and how we can't expect teachers to go into classrooms teaching truth. Now, truth. I'm not talking about just teaching about Harriet Tubman or just teaching about Ida B. Wells. I'm talking about teaching about those revolutionary ancestors that had to kill white people in order to be free.
Right.
And we can't be afraid to go in a classroom and teach that, but we have to be willing to support them.
Yeah.
And if we can't support Reverend Joy Powell, how are we going to support a Yasantawa and Zinga who we think is free and in the classroom?
Yeah.
So
and I say,
they have to know.
I'm sorry. And I say, while we struggle, to get the truth in the classroom, at the same time, we rebel against these hillbillies, you understand, who let us know what hurts them the most. When you go and take up martial arts, your sensei tells you to hit them where it hurts the most. They're letting us know right now what hurts them the most, and that is the true history. So rebel, you understand, by teaching this true history more and more and more and more. Throw them left hooks, them overhand rights that'll stop an A train. You understand? And teach our kids the truth. Right now, this lady fired you. They're trying to fire other teachers.
Brother Hawk, I'm working on a book right now called "It Takes Courage to Take Truth." To teach truth. That's what we don't have.
Right on.
We don't have enough educators with the courage to teach truth, and they don't have the courage to teach truth because they feel like they're going to lose their jobs and they're not going to be supported. But it takes courage to teach truth on any level.
Right on.
So when you go into that classroom and you decide I'm going to teach about the rebellions, then that takes courage because now you're teaching that yes, you had to kill the white slave master, you had to kill his mama, his daddy, his children, and you're afraid to go in there. You don't mind teaching about Harriet Tubman, pretending like she didn't have to kill anybody. We don't mind teaching about, like I said, Sojourner Truth. But when we start teaching about revolutionaries that had to destroy the enemy because they understood it was war, they do not want you to teach about the annihilation of any white person in the public school system. When I was fired, one of the things that the Black administrator put down was I was fired for teaching that white people enslaved Black people.
Wow.
So you can imagine what they're going to do if you teach that we needed to teach that we need to off the enemy. So, we have to be out there ready to protect and defend our warriors that are not or that have the courage to teach truth.
Oh,
Right.
that's great, sister. Appreciate you sharing that. And next week, we looking forward to you coming back on the show so we could talk about Asada Shakur.
Oh,
And
I would love that.
right, we'll if we'll try to work out the technical difficulties to get everything going
Well,
smoother. But adaptability and creativity is what fuels us to continue to fight. And so, just like we couldn't get you on the way we wanted you on, we decided to just have you speak. And I think everything turned out right because people are becoming more informed about joy. And now, being that this is International Working Women's Month, they get to reflect on her, a political prisoner, and to decide what they're going to do about her situation. March 9th, me and Abdul Haq, along with Transform America, is going to be in Queensbridge giving out some clothes. And while we out there, we're going to be informing the community about our political prisoners, George Powell, Matulu Shakur, Ed Poindexter, Sundiata Acoli, and the others that we've been fighting to get home. So if you happen to be in Queensbridge or know anybody in that community, let them know March 9th from the hours of 12 in the afternoon to 3 p.m. because it's very important that we use the internet to educate, but then we hit the street to agitate, right? So we talk to them on the street, we give them information, and we let them know what motivates us is the sacrifices and commitment of our political prisoners, and that's why we out there. So,
and also, I want to say this to you, Brother Frank. Look, the little technical difficulties that we had today, we cannot be any place near disturbed over that because if we can't get past that, we cannot get past anything else.
We're gonna
so I
win.
have no problem with that. We'll make that work.
We're gonna
and
win.
Shakur and I were born on the exact same day, July 16th. So that's my birthday, girl.
All right. All right, sister.
So
Okay.
meantime, y'all pick up them history books.
Next week.
No doubt. Thanks for tuning in, and thanks for making your contribution. Appreciate you.
Okay.
Your history book is a weapon.
All right,
Pick it up.
Peace. So there you have it, our sister giving us her insight, her input, and I think all the points was touched on. We ask that everybody please share with as many people as possible. Let them know about what we represent when we talk about our political prisoners. Let them know the importance of getting involved. Let them know that we can't stand and allow this to happen over and over again. As we always do, we want to close it out with a word, a very important word from our brother.
To do this as well, and I have to give the credit to this idea, Miss Kathy Hughes of Radio One. She's like, Michael, it is time that you guys organize a fund to set aside to help people who sacrifice for our freedom. Meaning, every time something happens, I hear this. Why don't the gang bangers jump up and do something for it? Why don't you kill them? You kill each other. And I say to myself, when is the last time you sent money to Asada Shakur? When is the last time you sent money to Matulu Shakur? When is the last time you sent money to Mumia Abu-Jamal or Larry Hoover or Jeff Ford or Leonard Peltier? When is the last time you have made it your business to send money to a revolutionary or a hoodlum that has helped us? And until we start to do that, how can we ask these young men to be warriors? Because if they do it in the name of the hood, at least the hood gonna honor their name always. At least the hood gonna make sure at least their children got something or their mama's house is looked after. As a community, if we're going to ask people to bungee jump for us with no cord, be prepared to take care of them when they get a life sentence. Be prepared to look after their families. See, I don't mind the work getting done, but let's take care of the workers. Let's stop asking more out of people than we would do for ourselves. So what I'd like to see, my dream thing, is to see 1 million people from the culture dedicate $10 a month. That's $10 million a month, $120 million a year toward taking care of civil rights leaders who have worked on our behalf and are elderly now and don't have to take care of themselves, like Rosa Parks, whose rent was paid by the owner of Little Caesars Pizza. We should have had a fund to make sure that she never had to worry about that again in her life. We should have a fund that makes sure money makes it to Asada Shakur and Matulu Shakur has legal representation and food, and Leonard Peltier, who has diabetes in jail, can get insulin taken care of. And until we start doing it, $10 a month is about what you pay on a couple fast food restaurant visits. So if 1 million of us do that for the rest of our life, look at how well we'll be taking care of the people that we're asking to sacrifice on our behalf.
I agree. And recently.
What's the call?
Free 'em all.
What's the call?
Free 'em all.
What's the call?
Free 'em all.
What's the call?